Hello guys, how are you doing today? Welcome to the stream. So, starting off with a little bit of connection issues, let me contact Bulba. Bulba, I'm live. Unmute yourself. Hello people.
Right now, right?
Hey!
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, sunshine.
How are you doing, Buttercup?
I'm doing just fine. What about you? Some connection trouble?
Man, dude, I'm just, I'm just happy I survived yesterday. We went out and had a little sippy time, and one of us made it back, the other one got carried back. So I'm the one that was doing the carrying, baby. I'm just playing. But how are you, my friend? Dude, it's been a long time. I was telling everybody how we always cast at least one every season.
Yeah, at least one every season. Well, yeah, it's been a long time. I'm very well. Unfortunately, I live in the dark ages still, so basically the fiber connection doesn't reach my place because I live in the countryside. So I bought a super strong antenna, but apparently today the connection is very much, busy. And so I'm streaming in 720p, 1500 bitrate. Yeah.
I like it. Hey, it's alright, because most people are gonna notice the difference. Most people at 720, they'll be okay. So I think the other one that you can look at is there's a aspect ratio with 900 that a lot of Twitch streamers will use. So
yeah.
you can always check that one out too. I forgot what the other aspect was, but it was 9 or 720. But most people will use 9 because there's quite a drop. But dude, are you excited for the match today?
I am. What about you?
Dude, so we got a lot. I held off talking about it because I wanted to get your side as well and all that kind of stuff. But I think we both kind of expected PX to win last week. The 60GT one surprised me a lot. But Joe, who did you think was going to win last week between 60GT and JST?
Well, I really thought that it could have been, a tied game until the end, and in fact it was. I mean, there was the end thing that JST did not deliver the last provisions, and you can see on my stream the last few seconds of the game, it was late. And according to JST's players, they said that they had 1,500 points in the bank with that provision. So they lost for that single guy coming up late. But this can happen.
Yeah, but he see, if people would have seen that he literally would have made it, and we were talking about it. If he would have just city hop, he would have made it. And that was the sad part, is when we were watching it, we were all yelling at him. We're like, bro, just city hop. He literally missed it by like 4 seconds, and he could have just city hop and then made it in there. I was just like, it was just, I felt bad, but you know, stuff happens, you know. So, but going to this week's match, man, we got 60GT and PX34. I think both of them did a phenomenal job. So, were you able to? Did you see the unique strat that PX ran last week?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's signature Hong Kong Legends strategy from Season 2. They just perfected it. They tried to probably train new members. What are your thoughts about it?
Well, I was referring to the use of Montezuma.
Yeah, oh yeah, Chandragupta Moctezuma. I think that's just for March speed purposes, I guess, no?
Well, a lot of people were telling me, so what they were using it for, hold on, let me bring it up. So they brought it up, and it had to deal with, oh my goodness, give me 1 second. They posted it in his chat, and I need to find it real quick, but it was, there you go. Montezuma gives healing, plus every time you get hit by a skill damage, you fire back a counter skill damage. So I think they were utilizing Montezuma in order to try to counter a bunch of skill damage based marches. Yeah. And so even in the middle, you saw it with all the AoE, they were just getting it, and it looked really weird because it was just Chandra, Montezuma, and then I started seeing some Saladin Montezuma later on. And I was just like, hey, if it works, it works. And so that's why I'm kind of excited. I want to see if they bring out something weird, because we all know for a fact, after seeing them play JST twice, that they're going to bring, that 60GT, formerly UCS, will bring XY to the middle every single time. And it
probably
was apparent last year. So,
probably. That's a certainty. That's not even a hypothesis. That's a certainty. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and which were your thoughts about last game? First of all, guys, both chats, both on BULBARITOS chat. By the way, guys, if you want to drop a like on BULBARITOS stream, which we are dual casting this stream, I'm gonna share the link with you guys in the chat right now. So consider dropping a like also on BULBARITOS stream. Guys in the chat, on both chats, which are your thoughts for today's game? Do you think 60GT is gonna win? PX34? What are your thoughts, Bulba?
Oh, man. You know what? I think a lot of people are sleeping on PX. So I think a lot of people keep thinking it's going to be a 2-0 clean sweep for 60. My personal thoughts is I actually think that PX, if they're going to pull a game, I think it will be game 1. And it's just the idea of them having the element of surprise. And they always, you know, some formerly HKL members, they're very good at counter-stratting, as well as coming up with very unique strategies. And I think that's going to catch 60GT off guard. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it will be a very, very good game. Who do you have, and why? So,
as I'm doing recently, I'm not betting on either the teams. So I try to be as impartial as possible, you know, just for a sort of personal thing. I just would like to keep myself neutral as much as I can. I do think that 60GT has a lot of potential as a new team. They demonstrated their strength against JST, and I do think that they have a good chance of winning this game. But PX34, as you said, might have some, you know, aces in the sleeve. By the way, Texas, thank you very much for the $5 super sticker. It's going well. What about you? And yeah, as I was saying, PX34 has a great potential because they are an experienced team. I remember they are Hong Kong Legends migrants coming all the way from Kingdom 30. And I don't know, man. I think this will be a tight game like we have seen against JST. What are your thoughts?
Man, I honestly, I think probably the biggest thing for these two is going to be mid game. You know, I think when we were when we're casting and spectating over the 60GT JST match, it felt like deja vu all over again, because when UCS played JST, the mid game was dominated by them, and watching last week, it felt the same exact way. So I'm gonna be interested, because I've been watching PX34's mid game, and they always look pretty scary in the middle too. So I really do think it's going to come down to who wins mid. I think both occupations will do very, very well, and provisions, they both do naturally very well on those two. But the mid is, for me, has always been what separates, for the most part. Not all case and purposes, but for the most part, mid game tends to be the deciding factor in most matches. And so, man,
I do tend to agree.
You know,
I mean, the name of this game is Arc of Osiris, not Building of Osiris, don't you think? Who gets most arcs at the end? If you have a good, a decent building strategy, at the end you will win. And about the middle game that was so powerful from 60GT last time, I have some updates for you guys, and maybe you discussed this in your stream as well. I'm not sure, because I didn't have the time to watch it. But did you discuss something about the VIP level?
Yeah, a lot of people kept bringing it up, so I'll let you go first, and then I can kind of reinforce, because a couple reached out to me to clear up some facts, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. So basically, everyone thought that JST had more VIP 18 players compared to 60GT. And what are the implications of VIP 18? Essentially, you have an extra 10% troop capacity, which is huge, another 20k troops in every march, so it means that every 15 player is like having another free march, expanded march on the field, and also the 5% march speed, which is a huge implication, especially in a game mode like the Invitational Tournament, which is these grand finals, where you don't have equipment, so your marches are slow as hell. And the fact is that players from 60GT reached back to me and said, okay, we have all the reports. We are actually gonna show how many VIP 18 we got and how many VIP 18 JST got. And apparently, looking at all the single reports to see which marches had the expanded troop capacity, which is only peculiar to VIP 18, at the end, I discovered that JST had 26 VIP 18 players, while 60GT had just 18.
Right.
What's the information in your possession, Bulba?
That's actually so after the match, Governor reached out to me, and he was like, you know, I want to clear stuff up, because a lot of people keep saying we only won because of VIP 18, and I was
that's
like,
not
okay,
true. Yeah.
I'll hear you out. You know, I'm never gonna shoot somebody down. But he literally sent me a screenshot of their start. Like, you know how they show the graphic with all the teams at the beginning and their subs and all that? And they went through and looked at all the reports and circled the names of everybody based on the reports that they were seeing because of the additional troops that would have been VIP 18 for JST, and send it to me. And it was 26. And then they had their 18. PX told me, I had a couple people reach out to me and just say, hey, this is what we have. I haven't looked at reports and confirmed and all that, but they said that it was at around 10. And then 94 NV, based on what I heard from some crew from CD70 that played with them in the championship, they said that they have a lot of spenders. So for the most part, they probably would have had more than 10 VIP 18s up there. So I think that would have been order.
Yeah, basing on the information in my possess, PX34 has 11 players with VIP 18, while 60GT has 18, so there is not so much difference. But people last time saying, oh, they just won because of VIP 18 the entire game. Actually, 60GT had an amazing coordination in the middle, beautiful middle strategy, and so did JST on the buildings, because they were great on the buildings. Not that, of course, 60GT were not great on the buildings, otherwise they would have never won. Yeah. So we want to clear this. VIP 18 is essential, but it's not the determining factor.
And that's the one thing that I kept just telling my members as well. It's like, I get that it gives you an advantage, okay, and I will never dispute that. But the idea that it is the only reason they won the match, to me, just blows my mind. I'm like, if you watch the PX match, if you watch the coordination, that it just takes away from all the awesome things that they did on the match itself, whether it was rotations or commander choices or pairings or timing. Like it takes away from everything, and that's the one thing that I just wanted to get across. Is it's just like, yes, I understand that it added on to and helped, but it was not the reason they won the match.
Yeah.
The reasons that they won the match were all the things that we just listed. So you know, we wish all these teams good luck, and you know, and at the end of the day, we're all here because we love Osiris League and we just want to have a good time.
So I won't speak further on this topic because it's 5 seconds before we can enter the actual game. But as soon as we enter, I will add something, one final thing on this regard. So let's try to enter the game. Are you ready in? I am in.
If you can hop in, then hop in.
Yeah,
Okay.
I hopped in. So here is the beginning screen. 60 GT versus PX34. Good luck to both the teams. We are watching the combatants from one side and the other one, 60 GT. Here on this side, in the north side, in the south, we have PX34. Many of these names we already recognize. For example, 3HK, Paranoia, and Mondo. What are you looking at, Bulba?
Man, I'm just trying to learn all these names.
Yeah, very difficult
Chinese
to pronounce.
names and everything. I'm just like, I know some, but I don't know all. PX, I was never really like, I loved HKL, but I could never pronounce any of the names, so it was always a little bit harder. But yeah, Fung, we know Toast, we know a lot of these guys already. They've either been in well-known teams, making names in other kingdoms now, so should be a very interesting.
Yeah, already I'm taking a look in the north side for 60 GT. So they had a few people teleporting, the classic entering a strategy teleport. So they had a few people teleporting in the beginning, and other people teleporting everyone together in order to have the people who teleport in the first round of teleports when you occupy the obelisk to be in the back, so they already go at the obelisk, and the people who teleport later in the game can stay in the front, so they can dispatch their marches together. And I don't know if you look at PX34, but I suppose they did the same, didn't they?
So there's a little bit of a change from what GT did last week. So last week, their front row, they had their provisioner, so similar to how Boobs or 108 does it, where they have JD in the front row because he never teleports forward. This week they don't have that, so that's going to be a little bit of a slight change. Maybe that's an adjustment in the provision game that they're going to do. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but that's a slight change they did do in favor of last week. PX, I'm taking a look right now, and I think it's just their traditional for the most part.
So let's take a look at the very vanguard of those teams. We have Governor here in the very front of 60 GT, 10 billion kill points, 685 million power, crazy. Then we have Ande, another super big whale. So they have all the 3 positions occupied in the front. I remember being the leader, the counselor, and the warlord. On the other side, we have only 2 players, so they made a mistakes in the pre-positioning, and the gates have open. Obelisks and outposts have been shielded. We have fast marches going out, Cao Cao all over the place. What are you looking at?
I'm watching PX right now. I'm gonna keep an eye. I want to see if they come out with the thing. And huge shout out to Lilith. Thank you for adding this simplified graphics button so that we can enjoy the game the way it's meant to be.
Yes.
Where it's meant. I'm looking to see if they're gonna break out the Montezumas, because they came out of the gate last time, and I'm not seeing our green feathered friend in any of these marches. So they might have switched it up.
Yeah. So let's see who will be the fastest ones to capture the obelisks. I think they will both do a good job. PX34 was extremely fast last time, don't you think?
Yes. There you go. We got one green feathered man coming through the gate, but they are, from what I'm looking at, they're going full. They're going pretty much like 70% cav out the gate. So I saw about 4 or 5 Jadwigas coming out. We're seeing a couple Montezumas now. Secondaries coming out. Korea has one. There's a Chandra right there on the right coming out of the gate, and lots of provisioners coming out. So they're coming out straight out of the gate. How many is that? What is that? 3, 5. They got quite a few provisioners. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
They have at least one dedicated gatherer per team, so at least 5 marches, but you spotted already more. And we see the first obelisk occupation going in favor of 6CGT. I mean, the first person to enter the obelisk. I remember the short ones being the one directly on the left and on the right, and the long ones being the one on the top and the bottom. So the ones on the top and the bottom are going to be occupied a little bit later, about 20 seconds difference, 20 seconds delta between the timing of the short obelisk. And yeah, I think that 6CGT is doing a very fast job here. What are you watching?
I'm watching the 6CGT. They're coming with the same bottom strat that they came against JST, and that when they absolutely punished them, and it's filled with XYs everywhere. They're definitely gonna live and die by this XY march, and I'm telling you, if PX can try to counter that, you know, they're gonna be kudos to them. But I'm just looking at all the marches right now, and there is at least 10 that I was just counting right there of just XYs going bottom side for sure, and I'm sure there's more.
Let me take a look at the rallies going on. So for ISET, so the rallies that 6CGT is launching, they are launching just 3 obelisk rallies. So they're probably going only for the short obelisk on the enemy, for the classic aggression on the desert altar of the middle here. So probably we will see a heavy aggression for 6CGT. While on the Seth side, so the rallies going on for PX34, they have 2 obelisk rally. And what's that? Is that the shrine? I believe it's the shrine. Or are those the outposts? Toast and passerby.